Hey everybody, it's Kelly. So if you watched yesterday's video, you know that I actually have done these back to back. I haven't journaled on this yet, but I'll do that before I take the photos. But I want to give you a video each day. So even though I did 2 of these in one day, which I try not to normally do, but it does sometimes happen, I'm just going right into my next video. So for the next day, I have this lovely picture. It actually snowed on this day, but it snowed at night and late at night. So I didn't get to take a photo picture, a snow picture on our first day of snow. So I'm gonna use it the morning after the snow, our first snow, and just, you know, say, hey, it snowed yesterday, and here's the page. So what I'm going to do is I haven't used any of these just full 6x8 pages yet in here, so I think I'm going to do that. I didn't have a picture. The light wasn't great because it was very early in the morning, so I don't want to do this as a full 6x8 because it's not too great of a photo. So I'm just going to use that. And this, I'm going to be mindful of the fact that this is across from this page. So I'm probably going to want to see if I can incorporate either some red or some green back over to this side. And I want to make sure that I incorporate some snowflakes, because if you watched my intro video, you heard about how I have a small snowflake problem. And so that's what is here. I also have this really nice acrylic that says winter, and I like the way that looks. Actually, the other thing I could use is this as well. And why I'm thinking wood veneer or this sort of craft color is because I've got all the brown over here, so I want to get these so that they're sort of related together. My other option is to do this. I do need something to journal on here, so I want to make sure I have that included in here somehow. So can I do that? Make it look sort of almost tag-like. This is probably a little bit more to what you're used to. My scrapbooking style is a little bit more layered and that kind of thing. Okay, so I'm just going to put that aside because I really don't need it. Now, I do have this flare, and this is from Felicity Jane, and I do have a red piece in here. Red is very dominant over there, so I certainly could add that there. And then my thought is then I might be able to put a card under here. I did grab these blue cards because that certainly, you know, could work somehow on the bottom of this. Could also work as a little bit of a layer up here. And then I could journal a little bit above this. And I'm thinking I want to look at my red die cuts and cut aparts here. Maybe I have something that could go across the bottom there, which this Hello December would be kind of good. Just going to grab this. And this isn't a great photograph, so I'm not really worried about covering up too much of that. This is going to need to come up just a little bit. This is an interesting page. I don't know that I've ever done anything kind of stacked on top like that. Now then I still need a number on here somewhere, and it's a 10. because this is day 10, what I'm thinking is I want, well, let's see. I have a couple thoughts here. First of all, I don't have any green on here. And as I just looked over, there's this little green snowflake here, this little puffy sticker. Which, in some crazy way, I kind of actually like that layered in there. Just thinking stronger, weaker. The other thing I could do is put the 10 up there then too. Kind of. I think I need more red or green to balance this out a little bit. The green feels a little I could use joy on here, but that seriously would be sarcastic. I was not happy that it snowed. Okay, I'm thinking this is an interesting, different sort of page. I think I'm going to actually use it just like this. So let's start gluing down before I change my mind, right? And I still am mindful that I need to get that 10 maybe right up there. I'm going to try to do this without disturbing. The thing I'm going to do when I'm done with this, because I forgot to after the last video, is get this ATG straightened out, because it is driving me a little crazy. And that could be a short trip depending on who you talk to. Okay, I know that was a really bad, stupid old joke, but I couldn't resist. Anyway, okay, so let's get that under there. I want this resting so that I can't like see the top of the photo through there. I think I can take this off now, by the way. Get this back on here a little bit closer to you. Okay, so then I'm going to glue this down here. I'll glue the photo to that. I'll probably have to journal up there. Thinking that might look kind of heavy up there, but well, I've done it, right? Okay, and then I love these Elle Studio acrylics. What I'm going to do, and this snowflake is not in any way even on this, so I'm just kind of making sure that that fits there. I'm going to just use my ATG on the back of these acrylics. You want a pretty aggressive adhesive, obviously, because they're fairly big and kind of heavy, I guess. So I'm going to just do that. Get that on there, kind of snug it up to make sure it's kind of in the even. And like I said, the joy on here is a little sarcastic, but I guess I'm okay with that. I mean, I do like Christmas. I live in a snowy climate. I live in the upper Midwest. And I do like snow, but I always say that my ideal snowstorm comes about a week before Christmas, so it doesn't ruin anybody's travel plans, and then it disappears the day after Christmas. Okay, so I think that's good so far. Now I need to go back and find a 10. And my question is, because this could be another spot of green, how would it look if I did it like here? What I'm going to do is I'm going to snug that up next to the flare there, because then it'll kind of look like they belong together. And I'm looking to see what I could do about a 1, and I happen to have a lowercase l here. So I'm just going to add that in here. And now my 10 is taken care of. So I have 3 spots of green, 3 spots of red. Now, I don't always make sure, in my other scrapbooks, I definitely am not worried about whether the pages coordinate side to side, but I worry about it. I think about it a little bit more with December Daily than I do anywhere else. So, I like the way that looks. The one thing that with this layout that is not my favorite is I'm missing the blue on this side. This side I think is done, other than obviously my journaling. So I think I'm going to come back, and I will do this from time to time, and I might add in a couple of little blue enamel dots here. So I'm thinking all right. Thinking I just want to add them and I think the best place for this one is probably right here. And if you have people handling your books a little bit more, you'd probably want to be a little bit more careful about doing this kind of thing. But since it's pretty much me, now those are stuck down, so even if I didn't like it, too bad. Anyway, it's only pretty much me, so I'm not quite so worried about stuff on the outside of my pages. But if you have like kids looking at this, this would probably be a bad idea. Okay, so this one is done now too, and you can see how that lays together. And sometimes I'll do exactly what I'm doing right now, which is really look at how these go together. And I got this a little snug when I cut it, so I'm just gonna trim off the tiniest bit. That's one thing I love about my my Caterpillar paper cutter, is that I can really get a really fine cut. Just gonna pop that in there. It's still pretty tight here. One more. You can get a very fine. I'll pull the next piece over that I cut. Look at how thin that is. Can you see that? I'll pop it along. That's how thin that is. It actually curls the paper because it's so thin. Now, one of the things that I should have done, actually what I'm going to do is, I'm concerned because I forgot and wasn't thinking. Remember I told you about being careful about the really dimensional embellishments? And what did I do? I put them on the inside instead of probably on the outside where they really belong. So I'm going to come back, glue that down, and when I do this and I just kind of work the adhesive back onto just the word itself. Okay, so now I have a couple things outside the page, and I think I'm going to do that with this too. Just so that something at the bottom is outside the page too, just so it doesn't look so funny. So that there's 3 spots of dimensional stuff outside the page as well. All right, everybody, I'm going to take this one away. So that's now 9 and 10 done. And you see what now that I like how this coordinates much better, they're not certainly the page, but there's elements of color from side to side. So that is day 10 all done for you. Now I'm going to go journal and take photos for you. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.